Everybody, we are back. It is Taped Online's favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at @DMarkJohnNFL for me, at MHolder95 for Matt, and of course, PandaSups.com discount code TDL for 35% off. Hopefully you guys use that for, some Christmas. If you guys have a family member that, lifts weights, you get 35% off the TDL.
Or needs to lift weights, needs to put some pulls on.
Yeah. Try to tell him something. You got to tell him something.
Your subtle hint. Be like, here's his protein powder, buddy.
For real. All right. Today we're going over the Kansas City Chiefs. A big game for the Raiders to stay in the playoff race. If they lose, they're out. I got my own playoff scenario going here that I'm following on Saturday, so I hope they don't waste my time. I'm hoping they don't waste my time. They might though. They had a pretty good showing against the Chiefs last time. Maybe a little bit more surprising than we thought. It didn't withstand itself in the second half, but they had a 14-point lead and they kind of blew it. So I think there's a little bit more confidence with them. I do think they're talking a little too much. I think they need to shut up. But Jack Jones kind of bothers me. And then the Raiders website on TikTok is doing some series, say something nice about the Chiefs. I'm like, we haven't beat the Chiefs in a long time. Can we?
I think the Chiefs did the same thing or something like that too.
Did they? Is that for Nickelodeon?
Yeah, I saw something on that on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, so I'm not hip like you, Marcus. I'm not with the kids.
TikTok, I just did a Simone Biles husband breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hip right now. So you got, I watched the Chiefs do the Packers. I was like, you know what? Anyways, but side note there. But yeah. So yeah, I even lost my train of thought there, Matt.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, the TikTok is kind of got me off there. But we're talking about the Chiefs here and the Raiders bouncing back and from a good performance. But I still think the Jack Jones thing was a little crazy. Hopefully they lock them up. Hopefully they come to play and they back that up. But the Chiefs just don't. They don't like us. If you watch the quarterback documentary, they still call it a Raiders week. And I was like, man, we're 1-5. Why do you want a Raiders week? What is wrong with you? But anyways, yeah. What'd you see, Matt, from I know you went back and watched the last game.
Yeah, I mean, kind of what you said. The Raiders went up 14-0, and it should have been 17-0 if Carlson hits that field goal, and just kind of fell apart in the second half. I mean, that's kind of what going over a little bit today, kind of what the difference was. The running game, I felt like Jacobs, he had a 50-50 game where he was there were a few reads, there's one that we're going to show where I think he could have scored, and he kind of just ends up running into a tackle. So hopefully, him getting the extra time off will be a little bit better for him this week. But yeah, they're a good team, man. Their defense is still pretty good. They're playing well above expectations. Spags is Spags is in his bag to say a little bit, and be interested to see how they defend Aiden O'Connell, because in the first half we'll see it a little bit too. They tried to blitz him and do a lot of fire zones, and he picked them apart. And then they kind of sat back in it, and then didn't really blitz until outside of third down or third and long situations. And it was a little bit of a different story when they were dropping 7 and 8 guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, so I kind of went over how other teams are playing them because I didn't like how the Raiders played them last time. So I was going to try to go back into that. I think they had a bad game plan against the Chiefs, especially this Chiefs team, because this is not Tyreek Hill, right? This is not the Tyreek Hill Chiefs team. I watched about 2 games. I remember seeing one pass over 30 yards, right? You know what I mean? And Patrick Mahomes isn't scrambling anymore, which is super interesting. Which, we got to that point where we're seeing Mahomes with a husband and father Mahomes, where he's not scrambling and not doing all those young things. He's checking down a lot. It's super interesting. I'll show it how much he is checking down and playing within the system or what Andy Reid wants, and not really trying to make plays. Because there were some opportunities where I thought, the old Mahomes will try to get out of the pocket, and he's checking you down. I think the Raiders have to kind of take advantage of that too. And their offensive line is not playing well, and I think that's where the Raiders win this game is with Malcolm Kuntz and Max Crosby beating up those 2 tackles. I don't think Atlanta Brown is about to have a long day. Kuntz has a lot of confidence right now. Taylor on the other side, he just gets his butt kicked all the time.
Brown is out, isn't he?
Is he? I don't know who the other tackle is. I don't know who that guy is.
Wanya Morris, their 4th-round pick from Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's why he's getting his butt kicked like that. So, and then Taylor on the other side is not that good. Trey Smith is, I mean, he's a good run blocker, but he's not really a good pass protector. So I think they have a chance to really get after Mahomes, especially this version of Mahomes, because Mahomes, he's not going to start scrambling that much, right? And if he does, and that does start happening, I mean, it is what it is, but I don't think it's going to happen just from the way he's playing. He's playing within the system, so it's super interesting to watch.
And to kind of reiterate what your point, like one of the things that I was like when I was doing prep for the week and whatnot and looking at it, like Mahomes, and again, first time against the Raiders, he had his highest or like at least above his average time to throw, but he had his shortest ADOT. So that means that the Raiders pass rush wasn't hitting home. Max Crosby, that was his first game with that knee deal. And like you talking about, like taking the check downs, and they just had a little bit more time to develop. And two, I think that wasn't really before Malcolm Kuntz had kind of arrived and had been on this hot streak that he was. So I'm hoping maybe that makes a little bit more of a difference, where if Mahomes going to be holding the ball down and they're trying to get those, those plays like that, they're setting up to target in the middle of the field with, having the two receivers clear it out and somebody come underneath. Hopefully if Kuntz can hit home too, and Crosby, obviously, that can, stop their game plan a little bit and get them out of what they want to do.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this tape. Let's do the defense first.
All right, so this is kind of what I want to go over, or what I want to go over is like a little bit of the difference in the first half and the second half of the game. Just because obviously, like we were just saying, the Raiders are doing a lot better. The Chiefs, like I know you're talking about this before, it came out in a lot of odd fronts, and the Raiders had a pretty good counter where they went with this like balanced line where they had two tight ends. We'll see a few plays where they put Jacoby Myers basically as a stand-up tight end, and like this is going to be actually the first play of the game. We get a couple of nice blocks from GVR and Illuminor here. And it's going to be a little outside zone. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this one by G. This is one of my favorite plays that I think I've seen Van Roten play, who's, I'll be honest, growing on me a little bit this year.
I know. He's playing pretty well, man.
It's a nice reach. Well. Finishes too. Luminor a little bit too. Yeah, it's a nice block. I like it.
Good game blocking in this game. I remember that. Yeah, they had a good second half.
Pick up 7. Yeah, the second half was a little bit of a different story, but we'll see that in a little bit. All right, so this one, the reason why I wanted to show this one from the sideline view first is, yes, it is a run play, and bear with me a little bit. The Raiders are only going to get 2 yards, but I think this has a chance to break for a long touchdown. And this is what I was talking about earlier, putting Jacoby Myers basically as another stand-up tight end. And two, what I like about it is you can see the Chiefs only have 2 linebackers in the game right now, so it gets them in nickel personnel. We get Mayer matched up on a defensive back. I think is that Edwards, maybe their safety, but either way. So again, 2-yard gain. The problem is Jacobs kind of cuts it up because he sees Drew Tranquil. He shows color in the what is it, the C gap. But I think if he stays wide, like we'll see Mayer, like it'll be a little bit better. Like Mayer does a pretty good job of widening that safety. I think if Jacobs stays wide, like I understand that he sees Tranquil, but I think if he like keeps staying on his line, he'll just get an arm tackle out of Tranquil. Then he can work off Renfro's block, and all of a sudden it's just him and the safety. You know what I mean? Like this could have hit for a 60-yard touchdown, but he ends up cutting it up and kind of going right into the defense. Get a little bit of a better look from it on this angle of what he's seeing. So again, I get why he cut it up because he saw this right here. But if he's a little bit more patient and just stays off of Mayer's left hip right there, I mean, like that's gonna be a hard play for Tranquil to make. So
he's not gonna make that play. I doubt it. I mean, if he maybe, but then then you see Renfro could make. I don't know. Yeah, I remember that play. Give me flashbacks here, Matt.
A little bit. Sorry there, Marcus. But yeah, all Renfro really has to do is set the little basketball screen here, protect the jewels, and stay in front of that guy, and it could be a big one. Now here, kind of get the similar look, and what I like too is like this motion by Myers where they get him into this formation. Like you can see, like the Chiefs linebackers, that it almost looks like they're like not exactly sure how they want to play it. Like they kind of like stare at him for a second. Both of them are like, all right, now we're going to make the call. And two, you'll look at this. Like they're going to run the outside zone here. This is the one where Mayer had a hell of a block. Boom. And see, stays wide. Again, no color on that side. Beats the safety with a nice little stiff arm. And we're going to the house. I'm going to back this up a little bit. But like you can see, like when they got into these looks, it was a great counter for the odd front because they get the numbers advantage a little bit, especially when get a nice block from Mayer to kick that guy inside, and then Miller does his job to keep him inside. So
Miller's back this week, isn't he? He should be supposed to be.
He's back at practice. I don't know if he's officially ruled back just yet, but he was practicing a little bit. So this is a little bit same kind of look from the Raiders. I think this one they're going to go with. Is this one outside zone? Let's take a look. But as you can see, safety kind of started coming down in the box a little bit, cheating. Oh no, yeah, this was outside zone or mid zone. Excuse me, a mid zone run, and we'll see the linebacker the Chiefs are going to send is that Willie Gay, I believe. They're going to send him into the A gap, and the problem is they got a combo block with GVR and Andre James. They do a good job on the first level, but this backer crashing hard inside, like Van Roten sees this guy crash inside, and Parham should probably pick him up because that's going to be his gap. But if we're running outside zone or mid zone, and this guy goes to the A gap, the weak side A gap, I'm not really worried about it. Let's go get this safety, and who ends up making the play?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So this is kind of what happened a little bit, where it's just a little bit of a different look that the Chiefs started doing that kind of gave them some trouble. So hopefully that's something they pick up. This one, let's see. Yes, this one. They kind of tried to get like a little, almost like too creative. Like tried to, instead of putting Myers over on this side where they would have had like the numbers advantage, and again would have had the safety on the other side of the formation, they put him on the same side as Hooper, and obviously that keeps the linebacker in the box. Don't have the numbers advantage, and they try and run duo. And remember before when we saw Mayer blocking that the defensive back. Now Hooper's got to block Michael Dana, who's a defensive end, a little bit bigger than he is. And I mean, there's just nowhere to go. So one of the things that I'd like to see him do in that running game is kind of go with those balanced lines, especially if the Chiefs are going to play that odd front. And from there, if they can just, pick up the blocks like we saw before, I think they can be able to have some more success on the ground like they did in the first half. All right. So this is what I was talking about a little bit with the Spagnuolo running a lot of fire zones. The Raiders in the beginning of the game, they were doing a great job giving Aiden O'Connell 3 levels to throw to, and then they kind of just got away from it for some reason. Like here, like this is just perfect play call for what they had going on. Like little fire zone with the defensive lineman dropping into coverage, hit Adams. I think this is second and short, I believe. Second and long, excuse me. End up picking up 8 or 7. Damn near getting the first down. I think he got this. Looked at it, but whatever, sets up 3rd and short.
Yeah, they didn't give it to him.
Yeah, I remember that they did not. But again, like this was something O'Connell was cooking at really early in the game, is recognizing the blitz and then boom, throwing right into it. So hopefully the Chiefs bring the heat a little bit more. I don't know if they will. Again, in the second half, they started going more to just blitzing on 3rd and long situations. Similar situation here. This time they're just going to get play action with the slant to Adams, which was working early. Wasn't quite as successful with Snead. Now, you might say that maybe this ball should go to Jacoby Myers with this corner playing so far off, but he is getting a little bit of pressure. And again, ball is getting out, and we pick up the first down. All right, similar concept again. Slant to Adams off of play action. We can see it's the same thing. And what I like is when they design these little. What I liked was when they designed these little short passes, and you can see too, like we got Myers here running the check down. Someone is that Trey Tucker, I think, running deep, and then Adams here in the more intermediate area, giving him 3 levels to throw to. And one more time, get another fire zone. Let's see, which clip was this one? Same deal, right? 1, 2, 3. Maybe you go to Tucker, or it looks like, he wants to go to Adams on the slight, on the out, but not open. Pressure starts coming. Again, maybe he can go to Tucker here, but got someone coming down on our face. Pause for a second. And ends up hitting Myers right there for an easy first down on 3rd down. We'll take that. Can't go broke making a profit.
Nope.
Couple of bad clips, and what I was talking about a little bit earlier even in the first half when they didn't have success in the passing game, it was when they were doing a lot of these like Yankee concepts where there wasn't really anything in the middle of the field. Like, I mean, right now, you got Myers here up on the top of the screen who's going to end up running a comeback and getting open. Well, it's 3rd and 4, and they've got 3 guys going deep, and then Mayer as the check down. Of course, the pressure starts coming. O'Connell just hucks it up into Adams in double coverage. And that's kind of what I'm talking about a little bit, like, especially in this situation where you only need 5 yards. Like, why are we having 3 guys run deep, especially on 3rd down? So that's kind of where I felt like they got out of their game a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see another example of it on this one. Run a little play action. Oh, yeah, I remember this one. So, again, we got a decent job with the short route here to Adams or the check down, and then another check down here to Jacobs. But everyone else, Hunter Renfrow, and I believe that's Jacoby Myers, so not exactly 2 fast guys, are going deep. And it's going to get Drew Tranquil to carry him in a little bit and take away that throw. But no one's attacking the vacated area of the field where they can throw it. Now, I do have to put this a little bit on O'Connell, too, because if he gets this look, I'd love to see him throw to Adams with, what is that, 12, 13 yards of space between him and a defender, and especially on 1st down to make him miss. But again, like, let's get something that attacks this middle of the field and give him 3 levels to throw to and stress the defense. Like, I felt like when they stopped having success offensively was when they started doing these, like, when they got away from that, when they started trying to push the ball down the field a little bit more and huck it up deep, and only gave him like really 2-3 reads to go through. So and then of course Jacobs, we got to catch that ball.
But he's got to throw that to Adams, man. That's Jacobs.
Yeah, also true. But so a little bit of what I was thinking of what they can, going with those those 2 tight end looks, trying to get the numbers advantage, especially if the Chiefs are going to come out in that odd front again. And then from there, just matter of picking up the blocks, and then 2, give those guys 3 guys to worry about down the field, and not just running deep routes, especially with the receivers who aren't exactly burners out there. So curious, man, how does that compare to what you remember from watching the last time?
Yeah, it's basically the same, man. I mean, they ran the ball way too much in the second half last time. I thought they really put themselves in a predicament, because it feels like sometimes this team is too much on 3rd down. I mean, you want to avoid 3rd down. You want to have like 10 3rd downs a game if you're a rolling offense. You don't want to have those 15 3rd downs where you're 8 of 16. You don't want to do that, because it's just one. There's too many 3rd downs. That's 8 3rd downs you didn't convert. So you want to be consistent, moving the football, and have a couple 3rd downs to drive, right? You don't want to be we're playing every single 3rd down hoping to convert, because that's not how you're gonna win. And they took that chance in the second half against Chiefs, and it didn't work. So they have to avoid 3rd down, I believe, on offense. They have to try to move the football on 1st down. I think they did a good job of that against the Chargers, even though there was some good 3rd down conversions. And if it is 3rd down, I think they should play through Michael Mayer a little bit more in the middle of the field. Teams are getting in the middle of the field, play through Michael Mayer, and that's how they should do it.
I felt like they didn't really use him in the first game. I can't remember I should have looked that up, what his stats were, but I felt like he maybe had, like, from what I can remember, a catch or 2 or something like that. Not really, wasn't really part of the game plan. So again, hopefully that's another adjustment that they make now that we've seen them involve him a little more.
Yeah, I mean, they finally attacked the middle of the field last week, and they scored 63 points. So the middle of the field's been open for like 3 weeks, man. Literally, it's like this. Everything you show, like, there's the middle of the field's wide open, and it's like,
yeah,
and then they finally attacked it.
Right.
So hopefully they do that, and then just play Michael Mayer sometimes, man. And I think they did a good job of that last week, and then it ends up opening up for Devontae later on. So all right, let's get into this offense, dude. Is it up?
Yep, you're good.
All right, here we go. So we'll start with the run game here, okay? So the run game is not something that they are, let's say, very, very good at. Okay, it definitely can be stopped. And it's one of the reasons why they're not very good on offense right now, because they don't have the best receivers out there, and they can't run the ball that well. But there are times when they run power that they still have some effective runs. So you see this one with Isaiah Pacheco. He's still able to get some good runs behind a nice little block there from Trey Smith. Get some push here on the offensive line. Get about 7 there. There's another one here. This is probably one of the longest runs I've seen from them on tape. This is against the Packers. This is the first drive of the game here. See some more counter here. Another counter run here. And, Pacheco does a really good job in power. All right.
Yeah.
So he's a good power runner. See, watch one more time. On the counter run here. Good patience. Able to find the hole. There you go. But they like to switch it up because they don't have a good run game. So we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do some, what's it? Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah.
Right. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was, had us in my running back one. I was terribly wrong that draft season. So obviously, but he is playing a little bit better in his role, I think. And he's not an easy tackle either. He still isn't an easy tackle. So the Raiders got to come up and tackle him. But you see mix of power there. And then sometimes they get the ball to Tony out of the backfield. And Tony is definitely tough to tackle. So the Raiders have to worry about that with the run game. I mean, it's really not that in depth where, you have to this is something you should extremely focus on. I think you can beat this, with your front six, or you having a normal 7 up there. You can stop the run if the defense tackles come to play, because what they've been running a lot lately, which I think is weird, is zone. They've been doing a lot more zone runs. So you got some more outside zone here, and this is not working. I mean, just the guys they have. I don't know, maybe because Wanya Morris is playing, they're trying to mix it up, but it ain't working. Right?
Yeah. I wonder if they because I feel like Helaire is more of a zone back and Pacheco is more power, or gap, I should say.
Yeah. So you see a little bit more zone here too, but you see guys just getting blown up. I mean, they're just not making these blocks, right? And I think it's because they've been running power so much, and then Morris is in there. Maybe they're, I don't know. He's bear hugging Humphrey here. I don't know what he's trying to do. He's not. Maybe he's got the game fixed or something. I don't know what that was about. Just right, and they're just not there in the run game right now, making a lot of plays, right? So you see they get a little mixed up here. This guy blows up Humphrey, doesn't allow Humphrey to get around. This allows the safety to come up number 25, right? But Humphrey does a good job of coming back because he's a really good center and fixing that block. And then of course, like I said, Helaire is tough to tackle in space. So you just got to make sure you get those tackles down, all right? But it's the passing game. These guys pass 40 times a game. Let's just keep it real. Let's keep it real, guys. We're getting 50 passes, all right? And one of the guys they like is Rice. So they like to get the ball in Rice's hands in space. Okay. So they like to do a lot of screens to him. He does a pretty good job of making plays in space. So there's gonna be constant screens. I mean, he killed the Raiders the last time on screens. See him here on this dig route right here.
It's a nice route.
Dig route, right? And then of course Mahomes under pressure. He does a great job coming back to the football, helping out his quarterback. Doesn't end up being a first down, but you see the separation he got here. Nice route. Come back for his quarterback. Mm-hmm. Did a good job there. And then in the I just wanted to show this Mahomes throw. That's why I have to see that. So a couple of nuts throws. It's just nice pocket climb right there. While getting hit. Find a way, man. And then in the red zone is where they really like him. I don't know how many touchdowns he has, but he has a lot. Probably more than about 8. I think it's about 8 or 9, maybe.
Right.
So, I think he's pretty consistent there in the red zone here. You see, Mahomes really trusts him to get to a spot where he's supposed to get to. You see where Mahomes is throwing his football, right? Yes, they're getting the kind of double team and bracketing these coverages, but Mahomes is throwing it here, and watch Rice get there. Touchdown. So he really trusts him in the red zone. That's one of his favorite red zone targets here is Rice. On his backside here. Right there. Great throw. Great catch. He got good hands. He's got good hands. He's
one
of the few. Mahomes didn't even step into the throw, bro. It's like he just flicked it. That was a flick. That wasn't a throw, it was a flick, bro.
Yeah.
All right. So of course it's Travis Kelce. Now Kelce doesn't get open like he used to. Okay. He's an older guy. But on these, when Mahomes does get out of the pocket, this is where they can kill you, right? They got chemistry all day. Okay. So you see here on this one, nobody's open. He's getting pressure. Mahomes got to get it flushed out the pocket. And Kelsey gets open here, and this guy's not expecting anybody to throw it over there. I don't know why. You're playing Patrick Mahomes. You better keep guarding him, Douglas. All right.
Got to stay deep. We'll learn that the hard way last time.
Yeah, you got to guard these guys. You can't come off it. Let Mahomes run for 300 yards. That's what I say. If he's going to run for 200 yards, let him. Let him do it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't want to do that. A lot of he's not Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson wants to run for 200 yards. Patrick Mahomes doesn't. He wants to throw for 300. So when he runs, he's going to run for a little bit, but it's not going to be something you have to be extremely worried about.
Yeah.
All right. So here's Kelsey again. You can see him on the fly. This is it. We can talk about Simone Biles' husband here, because he breaks on the ball, right, and he does a good job of stopping Kelsey originally, right, in the quarters. But then he does what I was talking about, which is let him run. Just let him go. Who cares? Let him go, because if you go for it, right over your head.
Especially with Quay Walker coming down too, like just stay deep.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. That's why they're bashing you right now, bro. Right here. you can't do that. Let him. The Raiders just let him go. Run 300 yards, please. Be Lamar Jackson. He tried to do. He tried to add some flavor to it. Like, bro, he's wide open, man. So don't do that. like he did a no look or something, right? And then they still find ways to give him the ball. This is a staple here. Basically, you're getting he's gonna fit kind of a blaze out. So they call this the blaze out.
Yeah, I think so.
Post out.
Yeah.
Play action. Right. They love to run this play. They run this play a lot off play action. They've killed the Raiders on this play forever. So they still find ways to get the ball to Kelsey, but they just don't get the same separation like they used to, guys. It's just not the same here. So let's go forward a little bit. So we're gonna talk about grown-up Mahomes here, okay? So Mahomes, he hasn't been running. So I showed some of the scrambles. I mean, those probably the scrambles plays on film against the Packers and the Bills. I really didn't go over the Patriots, but you'll see here on this one, we're getting some cover 3 right here, and they're playing single high. How many times you guys seen single high against Patrick Mahomes lately? Not a lot. Anymore. Not a lot, unless it was the 2021 Raiders, and we all saw what happened there. So, right? But on this one, it's just interesting because the offensive line isn't very good. The pressure is getting there. So he does the right thing. This is the right thing, man. We make fun of Brock Purdy for doing this all the time. Go to Pacheco here. Nice. Nobody's there. The play action. But I'm just saying, like, old Mahomes maybe would have rolled out and threw this up here, because this guy's not getting there before he does makes that throw, because he can make that throw, right? Yeah. So you could play cover 3, have things covered up. If you're getting pressure, you can make him get rid of the football and do the right thing, which I will say, because that was the right thing to do. Good job, Patrick. All right. Next one, we're getting some cover 2 here on this one. Now, I don't know why he didn't throw the ball to Rice on this one. Maybe he thinks 37 is going to get there, right? Mm-hmm. He tries to come back to, he's going to come back to Moore here in the middle. But then, the pressure's there, and he just checks it down. And you're thinking, like, maybe, 2019 Mahomes, he's going to roll out here, right? And then maybe throw to Moore, Scott Moore or something.
Yeah. We've
been judging quarterbacks for not doing that forever. And this dude's checking down now. He's looking like he's boring as hell. But it's the pressure too. The pressure is what's doing it, because he knows that he doesn't have a lot of time. He's trying to play through the offense. Pressure's coming. Get rid of it. That's the best way to be pressured. And then, like I said, this is first down. This is late in the game, guys. They're down points, and we got single high across the board. This is man to man. This is late in a football game. So this is the Raiders have to get in these guys' faces. You can't play soft zone against. They're not good. You can't just Tyreek Hill's not there. You know what I mean? There's no more Sammy Watkins. If you feel like Sammy Watkins is good, these guys are not good. We got straight man. Valentine's all over Rice. Moore, I guess that didn't think he was getting the football or something. And he just, former Raider here, Keyshawn Nixon, just takes advantage of it. Right? I mean, these guys are not open, right? They're not getting open. And then you see here is more single high from the Bills. This is not a running football team. They're playing a lot of single high, playing cover 3. There's really nobody open. Then you get pressure on him. He checks it down. But this is what the Raiders can't do. You got to tackle him. This is a perfect example for what the Raiders can't do. With these checkdowns, you got to make these tackles.
Yeah, that's a nice move.
Nice move from Hilaire there.
But yeah.
Yes, I mean, this is husband and father Mahomes over here. All right, so and then you see here, man, we're getting more man. We're getting some man here. So they're starting too high. I'll take it back a little bit. So they're starting too high here, too high coverage, right? It looks like too high, but then we're going to man, right? This is man to man. Ain't nobody here. Ain't nobody open. Not a soul. Maybe he could have went to Rice, but Rice is getting tackled. This is third down, right?
Yeah.
Rice is getting tackled. He wants to try to go up to here to Kelsey, but he can't. Kelsey is locked up too. Everybody's locked up. Then sack. So you got to trust. I mean, these guys aren't getting open. I mean, the Bills don't have the greatest corners in the world, but if you can get home with 4, this offensive line is not good. You see, Von Miller getting pressure. You see number Rousseau, who's defensive end. That could be Tyree Wilson right there. They're doing a nice little stunt there, blowing this up. Sack.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Get the Packers. They get a sack here too. So in this one, the Packers, they're basically in quarters, right? But they do a good job of Owens, which is, someone by his husband, does a good job of getting over the top here, right? So, and scraping over the top, right? Which takes away the flat, okay? So he does a good job of scraping over the top, takes away the flat, doesn't get the pick, because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to go here. But what that does, it makes them hold the football, and the offensive line doesn't hold, sack.
Damn. That beating Morris too?
Yeah, they beat Morris. It's rookie versus rookie. Van Ness is this year, right? He got drafted this year.
Yeah, he's a rookie this year.
Yeah. Van Ness, little power, right? A little power to rip. Nice little rep there, Van Ness, right? Yeah. That's a nice little rep. And then here we go. A little goal line quarters again. We're gonna see the same thing. There's just not a soul. There's not a soul open here, guys. Look at it. Kelsey's locked up. They do a good job, switching on Rice here. So the linebacker, he has Rice when he tries to come inside. And then pressure. Gary just beats Taylor. And then So, one, the pass rush has to dominate this game. I mean, that's which they have been the past couple of weeks. They've been playing damn well. They have to continue that because this offensive line is not good. Right? Look at Gary went right around him. I watched this rep like, oh man, that's Max Crosby right there.
I've never gotten the hype with Juwan Taylor, even when he's coming out of college, but I'm kind of glad he's getting exposed now.
Yeah. Because look at this. Look at this one. Because you got Preston Smith, right? Preston Smith is getting a double team here. They're trying to help Morris.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Crosby's on his side, bro. They got to help Morris. They're going to have to help Morris on Kuntz.
Yeah. You're going to help the rookie versus the $20 million tackle that you paid in the offseason.
just to get destroyed like that. Man. So that's the game plan there on that one. Raiders they just gotta, what I would say. There it goes. Yeah, the Raiders, what they got to do is they got to rush the passer, which it just seems so simple. Get after the quarterback. It's a simple key. It's like every key to the game. Just get pressure on him, right?
Just win.
But yeah,
just don't twist and win.
Exactly. So, but they got to keep doing a lot of the great stunts they've been doing the last couple of weeks. They got to keep up with that. Max Crosby, I expect to have a good game. He didn't get to play really well that last game. He had the injury. He's a lot more healthy, so he's going to come. He loves playing Patrick Mahomes. He can't wait to get his couple sacks. So they see these. They probably have to see this offensive line on tape, and they're just salivating because they have to help Morris.
Yeah,
they have to help Morris. So Kuntz is going to get double teamed.
Yeah.
So that means that Max, or they're going to have to chip with Kelsey,
And we saw that last week too. Like we saw, like we showed it last week too when the Chargers couldn't contain Kuntz and they had to do 2 chips. Like when you only have 2 guys out in the route or 2-3 guys out in the route, and they're not great receivers anyway. Like it's a huge advantage for the Raiders secondary that can help them out. So,
and they might have to keep Kelsey in more too, because Kelsey might have to come and chip. But that's when it gets dangerous, because Kelsey releases and he makes 8 guys miss, and we're pissed because he did a 30-yard touchdown on us. Let's avoid that. Let's try to avoid that this week. But I mean, that's probably a big thing they're going to try to do. They're going to try to chip and then dump to Kelsey. So I think the Raiders got to be ready for that stuff too, because that's a lot of stuff they did last time too. Was chip, dump to Kelsey, chip, dump to Kelsey. So yeah, they got to be ready for those things, man. But yeah, I think the pass rush is going to be a big factor in this game, because that's why the Chiefs' offense is not looking good, is because they're getting dominated up front.
Yeah, for sure.
And the receivers suck.
And the receivers suck. Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, for the most part, it seems like. I mean, Pacheco will be back, but Pacheco's coming off. He had a shoulder surgery like 2 weeks ago, right, or something like that. Yeah. And still playing the games. It's pretty much just Mahomes, Kelsey, and Pacheco when Pacheco's 100% healthy, which obviously the advantage Raiders. We might want to save ourselves some flack here and correct ourselves. Orlando Brown Jr. signed with the Bengals in the offseason.
Oh.
It's Donovan Smith. That's their left tackle. I don't know. It didn't click to me until like halfway through. I'm like, wait a minute. Orlando Brown Jr. is not there anymore. Oops. But yeah, that'll be fun in the comment section. You're good. We're good.
Oh yeah, because he made the Burrow thing. He's the Burrow comment. Sorry guys, this is not a Chiefs channel, Matt.
Exactly.
If we got the wrong Raiders tackle wrong, then you can get at us. But you know what I'm saying?
There we go. Whoops.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Any last thoughts, man?
Beat the Chiefs, man. Chiefs week. I mean, I think too, like one of the things that probably not talked about a ton. I think this could be a big game for Antonio Pierce if they can pull off the upset. Obviously his candidacy as a head coach is one of the hot topics right now, and give him his first road win and his first win against a quality opponent. And of course, Mark Davis is going to like any sort of win against a team like the Chiefs that's been a Raiders rival for a long time, and obviously keeps the playoff hopes alive. Ideally, I don't know whatever rocket science, mathematical formula you got going on to keep them out. Can they win and be eliminated?
No.
Okay.
Unless.
I just picturing like that.
You made me forget. Now I got to think about the scenarios. So let me do this. So the Browns have to beat the Texans, which we're pretty good there. CJ Stroud's not starting. Okay. The Patriots got to beat the Colts, which is the tough one. Go Bill Belichick. Hopefully Belichick puts the cream pan of his life together.
He hates the Colts.
We hope for him. He does hate the Colts, right? And then we need the Steelers to beat the Bengals, which is, is possible. It's possible. Jake Brown is a backup. Maybe he just comes down to earth. It's possible. And there's another one that I'm missing. Oh, the Bucks have to beat the Jags, which is also possible. Which is also possible. The only one that's really makes me cringe is the Patriots.
Yeah.
But maybe they just tank because they like Josh. Josh is coming back. Josh is like, don't win this game because the Raiders really win. I don't know, but hopefully Bill and he has some pride. I know Bill has some pride. He doesn't want to go up looking bad. Go beat the Colts, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Raiders have to win. But because if the Raiders win and those things happen, they beat the Colts and they beat the Broncos. They're probably in. Because the Bengals are going to lose to the Chiefs next week. Because if the Raiders beat the Chiefs are going to take it on the Bengals. So then the Steelers would probably lose to whoever, and then the Steelers lose again, then we're in. I'm just saying. I don't know, man.
What is it? It's Godfather. It's like once I think I'm out, they bring me back in every year with the Raiders playoffs hopes for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but it would be great for the Raiders to beat the Chiefs and then lose to the Colts next week. Get our hopes up. I'd be pissed.
That would be pretty Raiders. That would be pretty on par for the Raiders over the last 20 years.
All right, guys, we're out of here. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. We're out of here. Peace.
See ya.